Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the world's most opulent breakfast the world has ever seen. First, I add cubes of shredded collagen wheat that's been locally sourced. And yes, it has been locally sourced. I got it from the Stater Brothers 5 miles away. Then I cover the shredded wheat cubes in exclusive fancy milk made for the 1%. I assume it said 1% on the carton. And finally, I top it off with 24 karat gold leaf. So, how much am I selling this bowl of luxury for? $300? $400? I'm actually not selling it because gold leaf wrapped food is a bigger scam than whatever crazy mobile game ad played right before the video.
Marge said I should get out of my comfort zone, so I tried this new game, and oh boy, am I in the zone! Let me show you. You gotta tap here, swipe.
But how's it a scam? Stay tuned and I'll show you. Gold wrapped food has probably been flooding your Instatalk feed for the past year or so. And even I'll admit, gold wrapped food looks pretty. But as we seen in Ethan Klein's Instagram versus reality video, that same video that would eventually lead to him co-hosting a podcast with a loud, divisive blowhard. No, the other loud, divisive blowhard. Yeah, her. The pics on the gram ain't telling the whole full story. So let's back up and see where this trend began. Now, believe it or not, gold has been a mainstay in culinary decorating for quite some time now. I've even seen it in the form of gold lettering on high-end chocolate bars and maybe a wedding cake or two. But I think the earliest example of fancy restaurants going all in on gold wrapping was New York-based Serendipity 3 Golden Opulence Sundae in 2004. With a price tag of $1,000, why does this boozy cup of diabetes cost as much as a big screen TV? Well, it's made with the finest ingredients you can get your hands on, like imported Madagascar vanilla bean, salt-free caviar, a hand-forged and formed sugar orchid, artisanal high-end chocolate from South America, and, most obviously, layers and layers of 24 karat gold leaf. All while being served in a crystal chalice and an 18 karat gold spoon. And guess what? They went even more Scrooge McDuck and broke their own record with the frozen hot chocolate, clocking in at $2,500. Whoops, misread the script here. Let me see. $25,000? Why in the hell does this over-the-top Mr. Monopoly-ass dessert cost as much as a brand new 4-door Nissan? Nissan. Innovation that has a very bad habit of leaking transmission fluid. Well, in addition to doubling down on the aforementioned high-end ingredients and plates, which you get to keep this time, they use the rarest cocoa from around the world, and they top it off with an exclusive chocolate truffle that must be flown in from France. And of course, it's topped off with 5 grams of 24 karat gold leaf. And while I couldn't find any evidence to support it, all this inspired a certain chef on the other half of the globe. Yeah, you knew he was coming. Rick Bayless. Okay, fine. Nusret Gökçe, aka Salt Bae, is a Turkish butcher turned restaurateur. He opened his namesake steakhouse in 2010, but really didn't become internationally famous until he posted that now infamous video of him cutting steak dramatically and sensually in January 2017. Needless to say, all of the success went to his head and he doubled down on his materialistic flair. He opened up restaurants in London, Dubai, and New York, catering to the super rich and super juicy with dishes that are just as shallow as him. Most famously, the 24 karat gold wrapped tomahawk steak. Once this gaudy gilded lump of cow muscle hit the interwebs, it immediately went viral and inspired a whole plethora of copycats. And now, fancy restaurants are wrapping everything in gold just to get a piece of that Salt Bae pie. Baklava. But are such extravagancies actually worth it? Of course not. Didn't you hear me earlier? It's a scam. Listen, unless I have Mr. Beast levels of money, which can be done by the way, support me on Patreon, link in the description. It's impossible for me to go to every single restaurant that wraps their food in gold and do a taste test. Alright, now a couple things. I'm not some sort of anti-capitalist left-wing bread tuber. Boy, do I love consumerism. I completely understand why certain foods and ingredients are expensive. Such factors include the rarity, the demand, how much labor goes into making it, so on and so forth. And if you like and can afford such poshness, more power to you. But at some point, we actually have to slow down and ask ourselves, is what we're spending loads of money on actually worth it? Again, no. While I'm uncertain of the quality of every gilded steak from every restaurant that's unoriginal enough to do it, Mr. Bae is the king of Turd Mountain. I looked up the menu of Salt Bae's Beverly Hills restaurants here in LA, and he's selling this famous golden tomahawk steak for $950 and a golden New York steak for $550. Seems reasonable at first, but then I go over to his non-gilded menu and he's selling that same tomahawk for $169 and that same New York strip for $72. And other copycat restaurants are just as guilty too. 212 Steakhouse in New York serves the gold-wrapped Kobe beef steak for $425. But according to this menu, you can get that same non-gold steak for $180. And this steakhouse in Atlanta sells a prime New York strip for $62 and a prime ribeye for $78. Once you smear on element number 79 on it, the price jumps up to $180 for the strip and $200 for the ribeye. Oh, and another thing, I really had to go out of my way and find the prices for these things. They're not available on the websites of the restaurants. To quote an overused meme, which was used to criticize another overused meme, that's a bit sussy. Well, some of you are saying, well, of course it's expensive. 24 karat gold is super expensive. And technically, yeah, you're right. As of the making of this video, the price for 24 karat gold is
$64 per gram.
But there's something sneaky that these restaurants aren't telling you. You want to know what it is? Gold leaf is actually pretty affordable. I'm dead serious. Go on to Amazon and you'll see packs of gold leaf go as cheap as $10 per pack. I bought 2 packets of gold leaf and it cost me $30 in total. And they also don't take up that much surface area. Here's how much gold you're actually getting in these packs. Restaurants are scamming you by putting $10 to $15 worth of gold leaf on their food and jacking the price way up. Maybe this would be a tiny bit forgivable if gold did something to enhance the flavor? Spoiler alert, it does not. Here's a sheet of gold leaf. Let me taste it by itself. I might have picked up a bit of an aftertaste, but I think my taste buds are so desperate for flavor that they're just pretty much making it up as they go along. So if 24 karat gold so expensive, then why is it so cheap on Amazon? Simple. Gold leaf is microscopically thin. It's 50 times thinner than this sheet of paper right here, and only slightly thinner than a human hair. So there we go, folks. You're spending thousands of dollars on atom-thin pieces of gold that do absolutely nothing to enhance the flavor of whatever it is you're eating. But what if you wanted to get that Instagram clout and not have to take out a second mortgage on your home just to get it? Well, as stated earlier, 24 karat gold leaf is super affordable. So let's make our own gilded steak. So I bought some prime grade steaks, vacuum sealed them, put them in a water bath, turned on my sous vide machine, and gave it a little rearrangement. Then I turned the pan to high heat, seared off both of these steaks, 2 minutes aside. Then I placed them onto a wooden cutting board, and I wrapped one of the steaks in 24 karat gold leaf. So I have here on this cutting board my gold steak and a non-gold steak. But before we dig in, let's crunch some numbers. These are prime grade ribeyes. You can get them at Costco for relatively affordable prices. They came in a pack of 3. It cost me $60. 60 divided by 3, $20 a steak. And I think I put that same amount of gold on one of these steaks. So $40 in total. So in theory, if it costs some hypothetical non-douchey restaurant $40 to make this, they should price it fairly at $75 to $90, $100 at the most, but no. They're putting less than half a gram of gold leaf on here and tricking you into hoping you're getting a super opulent, one-of-a-lifetime experience. Anyway, enough ranting. Let's get to tasting. I'm going to try the non-gilded steak first. Not bad. Better than not bad. It's great. And now let's try the gold steak. I taste absolutely no difference. In fact, I prefer the non-gilded steak even more. Folks, we've just witnessed the pulling back of the curtain. While many expensive things are luxurious and are worth the price tag, a first-class seat, a luxury penthouse at a 5-star coastal resort, gold leaf wrapped food is nothing more than a facade, a con, a grift, and a scam. But now that you're armed with this knowledge, you can vote with your money and choose not to support restaurants who engage in such douchey price gouging. And maybe restaurateurs like Sodium Chlorate Bae would actually have to innovate instead of relying on douchey gimmicks. And hey, I might have lost respect for Mr. Bae, but don't worry, I never had respect for the guy. I mean, come on, does this look like the product of someone who spent decades in the restaurant industry would make, or something Nikocado Avocado would slap together? This has been Chase Cuttin Kitchen. I'm CRJ, making cooking fun, and meaning it this time.